inside linebacker reads. So our inside linebackers are always going to key the offensive guards. They're going to read the guards. All right? Our base set out of our inside linebackers is a 30 technique. All right? Our Mike linebacker here, we have an under front. All right? So our Mike linebacker's in the bubble. He's got a real clear view of the strong side guard. All right? The Will, he's also going to line up in a 30 technique. He's got the 3 technique in front of him, so he's a little bit more protected, but he's still going to key his near guard. We're also going to underkey the near back. All right? The primary key is the guard. All right? The guard, once the guard tells us, especially when we get into the pull read, right? Once we get that key from the guard, right? That's what we're going with, right? But we also want to always see, kind of in our peripheral vision, we want to underkey that near back. All right? That helps us diagnose the run plays. All right? So we're going to key primarily the near guard, but we're also going to underkey the near back. So for the Will linebacker, the near back would be the tailback here to the weak side, right? To the strong side, the near back would be the fullback. Okay. When our inside linebackers get a run read, okay, so the offensive lineman has come forward. He's charging into our defensive lineman, all right, in a run block position, all right? So we get a run read from our offensive guard, right? And then through our gap, we get an open window read, all right? So this could be inside zone. This could be ISO, right? This could be some kind of a dart play where they're pulling the backside tackle, all right? But when the Mike's guard blocks down on the nose, and then the tackle blocks on the end, so he gets an open window read, he's going to attack that full force, okay? Same thing with our Will linebacker, all right? When his guard bases the 3 technique, the defensive tackle, and the nose works back into the nose, and he gets a run read with an open window, he's going to hit that open window as hard as he can, all right? That's our first read. All right? If we get an open window read, all right? We get a run read with an open window, all right? And we will often, in our game planning, if we're facing an ISO team, right? So we're talking ISO run fit here specifically. An ISO team, that'll be built in the game plan about understanding pre-snap what could possibly happen, right? So Mike linebacker, if I have a fullback, right here in the bubble, right, pre-snap, a high probability, based off of the game plan, that I'm going to get an ISO, right? So we expect the Mike and the Will pre-snap to be chatting about ISO. Watch out for the ISO, all right? Mike gets a run read, open window read, and as near back is Adam, that fullback, all right, he's going to yell ISO as he fills, right? The Will should already be aware that there's a good probability that I'm going to get an ISO call from the Mike linebacker post-snap, all right? We talked about our inside linebackers being spill players, all right? Our Mike, in the base way that we fit ISO, he's going to fit that fullback inside out. So he's going to take him on with his outside shoulder, all right? So we actually want the ball to go outside of the fullback in the B gap, all right? The Will is going to cross fill, all right? Initially, he's probably taking a step or two up the field. He's got a run read, all right? He's got an open window, but he knows that there's a good possibility I'm going to get an ISO call. Once he gets that ISO call, he's going to fill over the top, right, and work to the outside pocket of the Mike linebacker, all right? And he's the guy that should be making the tackle as that ball, we're taking away the vertical seam, as that ball works outside and comes downhill on the outside of that B gap. All right? Once again, we get a guard run read. All right? We've talked about open window reads. Now we get a closed window read. Okay, so the Mike, he gets a run read, All right, the guard is initiating a run block. All right, maybe he's working to the end. Maybe he's climbing to the mic. All right, but we get a closed window. All right, we get a closed window and we get an under key our near back, and our fullback is working outside, right, on an angle, right? So we're getting an outside zone look here. Okay, so we get run read, closed window, near back outside. We're going to work inside out, cloudy to clear. Okay, what that means is we're going to work outside or inside out. All right, and if we get a open window seam, then we're going to take that. Right, we're going to attack the ball carrier through that seam. If we don't have an open window seam as we're working inside out, then we're going to continue to work out until we either meet the ball carrier or we do find an open window further out. Okay, so both of our inside linebackers, they both have a run read. They both have a closed window, right? So they're going to work inside out, cloudy to clear. Now we get a guard pull. All right. Once again, okay, in our game plan, as we practice during the week, there's probably certain sets, or there could be certain sets with the offense you're preparing against where there's a high probability that you're going to get a pull. All right. So when that happens, when our inside linebackers see that, there should be some communication, right? Letting each other know, all right, watch the pull read, watch the pull read. All right. So here, let's start with the will linebacker. Okay. So we've got some kind of a trap scheme. All right. Maybe it's a guard fullback gap scheme, right? Where they're trying to kick out our end man on the line of scrimmage. All right. Maybe it's just a long trap play. Doesn't matter. Okay. Our will linebacker gets a run read out of his guard, right? And the center blocks back, so he's got an open window. So initially, he's attacking that window. All right. But if we flip over to the Mike linebacker, right? So he has, right now, he's got a pull read out of his guard. As soon as he gets a pull read out of his guard, he's going to yell, pull, pull. Right? And that pull, pull tells the will linebacker, as he hears that post snap, he's coming downhill to attack his open window. As he hears that pull, pull, he's now going to work outside, tight to the jack, all right, to pick up where the jack is going to spill that trap block, all right? He's going to work outside the jack and fit as tight to the jack as he can downhill, all right? Looking to probably spill whatever's coming next, all right? The Mike is going to work to the front side A gap, but he's going to work cloudy to clear, okay? So if he's working to the front side A gap and it's clear, he's going to go ahead and take it. He's going to run through. If the front side A gap is cloudy for whatever reason, he's going to continue to work over the top, inside out, cloudy to clear, looking for an inside seam.